Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you are. Guys, we're literally like an hour and a half probably away from the fight. The nerves are jangling. I can't wait for it. I can't wait. I can't wait in the sense I can't wait. And hopefully my mood will be happy after the fight. I will do a post-fight reaction video. Guys, I want to talk about something. I saw a post that Canelo Alvarez posted on Instagram. And he basically said, no matter who I fight, if I fight Benavidez, I'm ducking Charlo. If I fight Charlo, I'm ducking Benavidez. If I fight Bivol, I'm ducking Benavidez and Charlo. Like, basically, Canelo Alvarez saying I can't win. I agree with him. I agree with him. It's just that there's narrative been put out there that no matter who Canelo fights, he's ducking somebody, you know. And I think Canelo's he's just playing around with it, you know. I think he knows that these guys aren't, it doesn't matter who I fight, there's always going to be something wrong. There's always going to be something wrong with my opponent's selection. Now, look, we did a live stream the other day, and look, no one's got a problem with him fighting Bivol because everybody thinks Bivol's a very dangerous fight. And when you've got a guy like Bivol, when you're fighting a guy like Bivol, no one's going to be upset with that type of fight because people know how dangerous Bivol is. So if Canelo takes the Eddie Hearn offer, people are going to say, oh, well, he's ducking Charlo and Benavidez. But how? Yeah, they're going to say, oh, well, he's going to fight Golovkin again in September, but he's fighting Bivol first. You know, and that's a much tougher fight than Charlo and Benavidez. There's no doubt about it. Bivol is a much tougher fight. So how can anyone question he's ducking Charlo and Benavidez, but yet he's taking a tougher fight in Bivol and it's for less money, according to reports. What I will say is this, is that Canelo's been a bit angry of late because he seems like people are putting out this information. And apparently, like, people are putting out this information that he's rejected the 100 million offer to fight Benavidez and Charlo. And Canelo's coming out and saying that I haven't said anything. You know, Mike Coppinger and those guys feel like their information is correct and what they're feeding to us and what they're telling us is correct. But, you know, it seems like Canelo Alvarez and his team are saying, look, until if the information doesn't come from us, then it's not true. How are these guys getting that information and putting it out there? Is it intentionally put out there so then they can negotiate bigger offers? I don't know how it's working, because it just seems really crazy how these guys are finding out all this information. They're posting it on social media, and then Eddie Reynoso and Canelo's team are coming out and saying, well, we haven't made our decision yet. We haven't rejected or signed anything. So I'm just a little bit confused to what is actually going on behind the scenes. What's all this about? You know, why is it, you know, what's going off here? You know, I'm just a bit confused. But I will say this. Canelo Alvarez has made a brilliant move becoming a free agent, because he's a big star and because of the fact that all the broadcasters want him on their platform, Canelo Alvarez has had it off. Canelo's had it off because everybody wants him on their platform. And they'll be willing to pay the odds over the odds to get him on their platform, because they know you know, for DAZN, for example, they'd get a huge amount of signups. You know, PBC would make huge money from a Canelo show. I don't know how much profit they're actually making, though, if I'm honest, because if Canelo Alvarez is doing a certain number of pay-per-views and they're paying him 50 million, how much are, like, and they've got to pay the opponent as well. How much how much are they making in terms of profit, you know? So, I don't know how much profit they're making, but I like to think if they want him on their platform, they would make a certain amount of profit. Here's the thing, even if the profit's like 10, 12 million, for example, that's still a lot of money compared to what they would be making from other shows. You know, so even if it's a couple, 4 or 5 million, like, I'm pretty sure the shows that PBC put on don't make anywhere near that kind of profit. So the margin is high. That's why they want him on their platform. And for DAZN, it makes a big difference, because although DAZN don't do pay-per-view, DAZN will benefit from a lot more signups if Canelo is consistently fighting on their platform. That's going to be difficult to do, because I think Canelo is now a free agent and he wants to leave it open. He doesn't want to sign long contracts because of the fact he knows that he wants to fight whoever he wants to fight. And if that's the case, then he can work with any promoter, because any promoter would, and if they've got affiliation with a broadcaster like Bob Arum, for example, would be willing to work with Canelo. They'd work with Canelo with ease. You know, all promoters are going to have a good relationship with Canelo because they'd all want him on their platform. If you look at all the promoters, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, they all seem to, you know, say good things about Canelo Alvarez because they all want him on their platform, you know, and it's all a business. It's all a business. They want him on their platform. They want him to be fighting on their, you know, on their network. So it can increase signups or, you know, make them profit by doing pay-per-views. So yeah, I can understand why every promoter in America wants to work with Canelo Alvarez. Why wouldn't you? If he's doing over 1 million pay-per-views on a consistent basis or near that, you know you're going to be making a lot of money, especially if, like, you know, you've got a dance partner like a Golovkin. Like, I'm pretty sure DAZN would be eager to make that fight because they know the kind of signups and the money or the signups that would do. Imagine Canelo Golovkin. Imagine how much signups that does. You know, I don't know whether DAZN would have a pay-per-view platform because they are talking about taking out a pay-per-view platform. I think if DAZN do that, then for me, it's a bit of a flop because of the sense that I just feel like the whole purpose of DAZN was the fact that they're not going to be doing pay-per-view. So if they start now doing pay-per-view, I think it takes the concept away of paying £10 a month. Now, what they're saying is for the real, Eddie Hearn said, for the real super fights. The only problem is like, initially we were told that DAZN would only, you know, do subscription, and Eddie Hearn was like, pay-per-view's dead. Then he's now retreated and said no pay-per-view. I just don't agree, in the sense that I feel like pay-per-view in America, especially, like, I'm not American, so I don't have to pay some of the prices that you guys over America have to pay. But it's huge money. It's huge money. It's a lot of money to pay, you know, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just a lot of money, and I think, you know, if DAZN you have to pay £10, then they do the odd pay-per-view, then I don't know if it's worth it, you know. I think the whole purpose of it was, you know, I'm pretty sure people might not mind if you increase the price of monthly package, but I think if you bring out pay-per-view, I just don't think it just won't sit right with certain people. That's what I think, because the whole purpose of DAZN was that it doesn't do pay-per-view. I just think it'll take the concept away, paying a monthly subscription and then also paying. It is what it is. It is what it is. But back to Canelo. Canelo just is a little bit, I think he's a bit peed off that he doesn't seem to get the credit for his resume. He doesn't seem to get the credit for fighting the guys that he's fought. You know, if you look at Canelo's resume, it's a Hall of Fame resume. It's incredible. Like, people say his resume is overrated, but when you compare it with his peers and the other guys in around his era, and you think look at Golovkin's resume. Like, Golovkin's a great fighter, but like, when you compare Golovkin's resume to Canelo's, it's chalk and cheese. Like, who else's resume in boxing compares to Canelo? Nobody's got a resume like that. I'd probably say Usyk, but Usyk hasn't got the depth that Canelo's got. Yeah, Canelo fought some guys past their best, but who cares? Every fighter, there's many fighters that fight certain fighters past their best. No one's going to be in their prime. Not everyone's going to be in their prime. You know, that's another narrative that really irritates me. That, oh, yeah, well, when people start going through a resume and start saying, well, he was past the best, you're never going to fight anyone. Look, if they were world champion, right, that means they were good fighters. If you fight, like, I remember with Khan, when he fought Zab Judah, he knocked Zab Judah. Zab Judah was a world champion. He had beaten Lucas Matisse in his previous fight. You can't say, well, that's not a good win. If somebody's world champion, that's a good win. Because they still had what it takes to be world champion. So when people say, oh, he's past it, he's this, that, and the other, well, he's world champion. He couldn't be that bad. He can't be that bad. So at the end of the day, sometimes I just feel like people look to... I feel like for certain fighters, some people set the bar so high. And no matter what they do, I feel like that's the same in the UK with Khan. I feel like they've set the bar so high. Like, Khan's got one of the best resumes in British boxing. But I feel like the bar's been set so high for him. And the same with Canelo. I feel like some people just love to hate on Canelo. The bar's been set so high, and it's just like no matter who he fights, it's just not good enough. It's just not good enough. And I think we as boxing fans do not appreciate what Canelo's doing right now. You know, for a guy to fight Callum Smith, Avni Yildirim, Billy Joe, and Caleb Plant in the space of 10 months, like no fighter does that. No fighter with any, like no fighter does that. Trust me, no fighter does that. So I feel like he deserves a lot more credit than what he actually gets. He doesn't receive the credit, in my opinion. I feel like people just accuse him of ducking. He's ducking that guy, he's ducking that guy. You know, no matter who he fights, he just doesn't seem to get any credit. You know, he could fight King Kong and they'll say, you know, he's ducking, you know, like a lion. You know, that's just, it's unfortunate because I feel like as boxing fans, we should appreciate guys like Canelo who give us big fights, who give us the big, like if he fights Bivol next, like that's a spectacular fight. But some people will probably say he's ducking. You know, someone else. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's irritating for me. But let's see who he decides to fight. You know, this saga's been dragging. Canelo's fights are becoming a bit like Floyd's, where it seems like we have to wait a year. We have to wait so long before he announces what he's going to do, and that in itself becomes an event. You know, just the fact that who's Canelo going to fight, that becomes an event in itself. You know, I remember the Plant situation was so frustrating. It's like, is he going to fight Plant? Then he's going to fight Bivol. Just back and forth, back and forth. And same with this situation. It's just kind of like, oh my God, what's going off here? You know, I think Canelo will make his decision probably by the end of next week, who he's going to fight. But yeah, guys, leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think of Canelo saying that no matter who he fights, he's going to get a stick? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.